So many of you have been asking how we cover the beam up with Adobe. Just kidding. Nobody's asked that, but I'm going to show you anyways. So in a post and beam Adobe home, you've got these posts and beams to cover up. I showed you in a previous video how we notch around the posts, but now the last three courses are going to hide these beams. So what we're doing is taking some of this heavy gauge chicken wire that they use for stucco, and I'm going to staple it real good to the LVL here, and then we have half bricks, they're less than half, but cut bricks to sit right here and cover the beam. So I got it stapled up there good. I don't know what the official amount of staples you're supposed to put in here. I just kind of put like a, one high, one low, one in the middle, one high, one low, about a foot in between. You need it to be able to hold the chicken wire on, because that's what's going to hold the bricks up there. One other thing is, I don't pound the nails all the way tight, because you want the mud to be able to get behind the chicken wire a little bit, so that it is actually around the chicken wire and holding the bricks to the beam. And then the excess, I just bent it over flat, and then the first course will sit on those. So, alright, so to throw the mud up there, you want to have a bucket of some water. Have your wheelbarrow close so you can get it up there. The reason you want a bucket of water is you want a wet shovel where the mud sticks to it, and when you throw it up there, it doesn't want to come off. It's just difficult. So put a little mud on, throw it up there. Starts to get sticky. Give it a little rinse. Okay, after you get the mud up there, you don't have to wear gloves. I'm wearing gloves right now because it's cold. Winter, keep my hands warmer. You gotta spread the mud out. And just kind of spread it out about 2 inches thick or so. Letting it push, you want to let it push through into the chicken wire. Okay, after you got it spread around, and get yourself some bricks, and I'll set them up there. Okay, so then you just put your brick up here. Having extra mud's good because it'll squeeze out, then you can grab some, and I'll just show you what. So you squeeze it out.
What?
Get it where you want. And then one of the tricks is to come in from the side and you push it towards the other one, because that'll push mud up in between the two bricks, so that you're not trying to stuff mud in there later. So you start back from the brick a little bit, and then you push it down and into the other one. with these last 3 courses, so on all these we had a string line going up to keep the wall plumb. On the last 3, it doesn't really, I mean, you still want it plumb, but you can just eyeball it. So just do your best to eyeball it up. It's kind of hard to get a string line in here now with all the finished walls, so. Again, you start back, push down and over, and that'll push mud in between your bricks. And then you can take the little extra and just kind of karate chop it down in there. You can take some of this and then just wipe this stuff off and throw it in the back or here if you need it. Start over, down and over. Take your extra. Don't get enough in there, just karate chop it in. You can even throw some against that face to help fill that in before the bricks are there. So, Cam, see if you can watch this mud closely here. So again, I'm starting over from where I want to be, pushing down and over. And that kind of pushes mud up in this joint. And then you take the excess, throw some there, you can throw some here, karate chop it down. Alright, so that section's done, and Brittany has done the striking. And now we gotta do the header over the window. So, sorry the lighting isn't real good, but before we do that, you gotta finish your section up to the header on both sides. Got this section, just barely finished it, so it's not, Brittany's not come out and striked it yet, but I'll show you how I do the soldier stack, real thin ones above this. This is a 12-foot window, so there's 4 LVLs making up that beam, so there's not much room for a brick. So I had to figure out some way over the windows to hold the bricks up while the mud sets up. So I'll show you what I decided. So I got these 2x4s here, 2 8-footers, and then these little 2x2s, and I just kind of notched out the bottom and attached it to there. And then what I can do on here is I can spread these 2x4s out. You see I got a couple screws holding the 2x4 together with the front edge of it flush. I can take those screws out and spread it out or close it up depending on how big my header is. So I'm going to open that up right now for got to go 14 feet. So there's only going to be 2 feet holding that thing together in the middle. This will be the longest one I've tried with it, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I got the 2x4s up there, spanning the whole distance. Let's see. All my stuff's rough sawn, so I just put a screw right into the trimmer there for the window, because you're not really going to notice it in the whole scheme of things. If you're doing something fancy, you'll have to figure out some other way to attach it. But so I got that up there. Now I can set my bricks behind it, and that'll hold them up. until the mud sets in, and we'll pull it down and do the striking. So the other thing that I like to do is put this tape up and put marks on it for where the bricks go. That way I keep them even across there. And I start in the middle so that my middle brick is in the center of the LVL. That way the cuts that end up on the end are the same. I guess you don't have to do that. You can start from one end and go across, but I just think it'll look better if the end bricks are the same width. So now that I got that done, we'll throw mud up here, and I'll show you how to get the bricks up here with mud behind them, and because you don't want to dry back. So I'll show you how I do that. I like to throw some mud back at the back, try to get the stick up on the wall, a little bit down in there. And take my brick and push it back, and then just kind of rotate it down into its position. And then I'll take the mud that's underneath and throw it up in there. So another angle at what's going on here. Oh, we need to get some cut down there. Alright, put the brick in there, smush it back, and then push it down, which pushes this mud out, and rotate it into the other one. And check my mark, see I'm pretty good. You can take this mud, throw it on the side, take some, throw it up there. Oh, we gotta fix that. Okay. Another one. Push it back. Down and rotate it in. So another thing you want to do, however often you feel like you want to, is check that they're standing straight up and down. So clean this board off a little bit, and then take a speed square that I'm using, just put it against there and check how square your bricks are. This 2x4 isn't real square. Just tap them back if you need. Usually you can do one and use it as a reference for the next few and then check again. You don't have to really do it with every single one. Okay, stop. Alright, so once you get them all laid, depending on what time of year it is, how warm it is, you have to give them a little while to set up, and then you'll remove your brace and then do the striking like all the others. So here we are the next day, and we've got the board down. All the striking is done. This is how it looks. So these bricks can be washed off a little more if you want, but when it dries, it'll all look pretty good.